Welcome everyone to 3 in the Keystone, episode 23. I've got the normal crew, Chris Guest, Al Ryan. We've got a lot on tap for you tonight. Eagles roll again. Is Jalen Hurts the MVP of the NFL? Joel Embiid a 50-piece. What would you get your Philadelphia teams for Christmas? And last but not least, we're all going to compete in a game of whose stats are those? But boys, Chris, I know you wanted to start the podcast off. You had a question for us, so I'm going to throw it to you to lead it off.
Yeah, so real quick, I was going to say, especially for Al, who's our resident Twitter specialist / expert / all that kind of good stuff, social media liaison. And I found this stat, which you may already know about it, but it was the top 10 sports teams that trend or that were searched on Google. So the top 10 sports teams that have been searched on Google within the last 2 months. I think it was 2 months. Can you name them or give it a shot? So just you're not going to run the table, but just as much as you can. What do you think you can?
I didn't see this, and I'm assuming this is global search, right?
It is. No, I'm sorry. This is within the United States.
Okay,
North America.
Okay,
2 months. So this, I'll go Houston Astros.
No,
the Phillies. So I saw something about the Phillies being the number one search for like a while, for like a month. So the
Phillies are number one.
There. Yeah,
Phillies were number one.
That's the only thing I saw. I didn't see the rest of this list. I saw something that compared the Phillies to whatever the last number one search was. The Phillies like overtook them.
Yeah, the Phillies are number one.
I think because you're bringing this up, I'm going to say the Eagles are on that list.
They are not.
I'm really struggling here, huh?
Yeah. It's tough.
How about the Lakers?
No.
The Sixers have to be on it, right?
No.
There's
two
Golden State Warriors. How about the Warriors?
Warriors are third.
The Celtics?
Celtics are 2. So the Celtics overtaking the Warriors, just like how Tatum overtook Steph Curry in the rankings 2 weeks ago on the show.
Yeah, except Curry busted him up the other night.
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
Dallas is not on it.
Sheesh.
So you're 1, 2, 3 so far is Phillies, Celtics, and Warriors. And like I said, there's 2 hockey teams on here.
We'll skip those. How about the Yankees with the Judge stuff?
No Yankees.
No Bills?
No Bills.
No Chiefs? What the hell are people searching these days?
That's what I said. It was tough.
All right, so wait, we got to think outside the box, right, Seltzer? So the Jets?
The Jets? No.
You're in the right church, wrong pew.
The Giants?
Giants?
No.
Dolphins?
What?
The
what
Knicks.
Church is that?
The Knicks.
Or the church of the AFC East.
The city.
Oh.
Knicks and Nets.
The Nets?
The Rangers?
New York Rangers are 6th.
I said scratch the hockey team.
Well, I'm not going to straight everyone on the list. What do you want me to do? They're 6th.
How many are left? Give us the sports. Give us the sports.
1, 2, 3, 4. You got 6 teams still.
Give us the sports distribution of what's left.
So there's 1 more hockey team. There's 2 baseball teams, and then the rest are NFL.
The Braves?
No.
Dodgers?
No. Again, right church, wrong pew.
The Angels.
Wait, did someone say the Rams?
No.
Well, the Rams.
Well, why would the Rams?
The Rams are 5th.
To the listeners, let's hope this isn't a prelude of what's to come with that game in the third segment.
Yeah. Guess give us the rest of the list.
I told you it was going to be tough. So going from the top to the bottom, number 1 is the Phillies, 2 is the Celtics, 3 is the Warriors. You got those. 4 is those Houday Cincinnati Bengals.
Jesus.
Yeah.
5 is the Rams. 6 is the aforementioned New York Rangers. 7th is the San Diego Padres. 8th is the San Francisco 49ers. 9th is the Cleveland Guardians. Taylor Bunts. And 10th is our favorite Calgary Flames.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what.
Calgary Flames.
I'm glad that I cut that off because we would be guessing for another hour.
No one would have ever got the Calgary. We'd have been here for 4
The
hours.
Flames,
until
we never got
somebody
the Guardians.
And wait, that was the number. Those are the top 10 searches of what, the month or
sports teams. I think it said for the last 60 days.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. People, I guess more people are using Bing these days.
AOL. The internet wins again.
Let's get into segment 1. Eagles roll the Giants. Another day, another easy win. 48-22. Was never a game. They are now 12-1, best record in the NFL. I said a few weeks ago Jalen Hurts was not the MVP
you did.
of the NFL.
You did, and I was about to collect them receipts when we started this conversation. So
Walk
you
it
can
back.
start this segment off, and you can talk about the MVP first and foremost.
Walk it back.
So he is now the Vegas favorite to win MVP. I will say I still favor Mahomes from a statistical standpoint. However, if the Eagles go 16-1, Hurts is the MVP.
Are you serious?
16-1 is.
So you mean to tell me he has to go win 16 out of 17 games with the stats he has to be the MVP of the league?
Mahomes has better numbers than he does.
Mahomes just barely beat the Broncos and threw 3 interceptions.
He had a bad game. He still won. The home Hurts barely beat the Colts 3 weeks ago. Like,
how about when even he's not turning the ball over? How about when Tua the other day when you guys were talking about praising him and what's he look like the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple bad weeks.
Wait a minute.
I'm not a flip-flop guy. Like, I stand by my stances. I'm not going to jump because the guy has 2 bad games.
It's arguable that Mahomes has better numbers than Hurts. I got the numbers in front of me.
I agree 100%, Al.
I knew this conversation.
Mahomes going to throw for 5,000 yards and 43 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, and by the time the end of the year ends, Hurts is also going to throw and run for almost 50 touchdowns this year.
I was going to say, and he's got a one-off year where he's the only quarterback ever to have 10 plus rushing touchdowns and have a QB rating over 100. That's never happened before.
Let me ask you this. If you took Jalen Hurts off the Eagles and put another quarterback on that team and then took Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs and replaced him with the same quarterback, who's in the better situation?
Well, what's around them? What team are you putting them on?
I'm taking Kirk Cousins, and I'm putting him on. I'm taking a middle of the road quarterback. That's what I'm going for here. A Kirk Cousins type level quarterback, and I'm putting him on the Eagles, and I'm taking him and I'm putting him on the Chiefs. Which team is going to have more success?
Kirk Cousins doesn't have this team at 12-1 though.
No, he doesn't. But he would be better off with the Eagles team than he would be with the Chiefs team.
Because of that, you can't take away what Hurts is doing this season.
I'm saying Hurts is still like the MVP.
Here's
16-1. But I'm saying Mahomes has less.
Yeah, but here's my argument. See, I get what you're saying there, and I don't disagree with that. But if you flip-flop these 2 quarterbacks and you put Mahomes on the Eagles, oh dear Lord, we wouldn't hear the end. We'd be hearing it every second of every day about how Mahomes is the MVP on a 12-1 team in a division with all winning teams. I mean, you can't play that game. Like, Hurts is the man right now. He's doing everything. And who's to say that he's not the one that's elevating AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders? Like, who's to say it's not him?
But let's not act like AJ Brown wasn't a powerhouse wide receiver before he got here.
I'm not acting like that, but he certainly looks a lot better than he ever did in Tennessee this year.
Debatable.
I don't know.
What? He was a beast in Tennessee.
He already has 10 touchdowns. What was his season high at Tennessee?
Wait, what? Wait, now I got to go to Google because I know for a fact AJ Brown hasn't had a season like this before.
I'm not saying he has a season like this, but and
it's not even over yet.
Dude,
AJ Brown had 11 touchdowns in 2020.
You're really
but as yards
in 14 games.
Yeah, so he had 11 touchdowns and sharing the field with no one but Derrick Henry. Right.
So now we're throwing. Now you're throwing. First, you said he never had numbers like this. Now you're putting nothing right. He basically had the same stats in 14 games in 2020 that he does now.
Right, but with no Devontae Smith, no Dallas Goedert on the field, right?
Hold on, my computer just blew up.
Listen, dude, you're really shortchanging Jalen Hurts right now.
No, I'm not.
He is the clear, I think, number one.
He's still a chance to run for 1,000 yards.
This team has 1 loss.
Okay, so
and he's only lost. I think other than that, he's only lost aside from the playoff game last year. Again, you got to double check me, but I think he's only lost like 3 games in the last like 22 NFL regular season weeks or something like that.
So what does Patrick Mahomes have to do to pass Jalen Hurts in your eyes, then?
I don't think it's a year for him. Simple as that. He's a great player, and I had him as the MVP for me preseason, but you can't. Like Al said, there's things that are happening with the Eagles. If they go 16-1 or 15-2 or even 14-3 for that matter at this point, and your quarterback isn't I have a hard time saying that he's not the MVP of the league and your team is that good. If you're in a quarterback driven league,
you're acting like the Chiefs have 6 losses. The Chiefs have 3 losses.
Yeah, but the
2 more than the Eagles have.
The trajectories that they're on right now, like Mahomes isn't going to have that much of a better statistical season than Hurts, and he has 8 more picks. So right now, when you look at total yards, Mahomes has him by about 500.
And he plays an easier schedule.
500's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, but so is 8 picks.
He plays an easier schedule too. Mahomes.
Debatable. I don't know about that. You're wrong. I completely
go look at it.
Hurts has
it's a fact.
Hurts has a better QB rating. Hurts only has 1 less touchdown. No, pardon me, 3 less touchdowns when you combine passing and rushing.
Yep.
So look, very comfortable.
Touchdown's a touchdown.
Listen,
I don't disagree with that.
I don't understand the Hurts disrespect. I was listening to a podcast. Oh, you guys are gonna love this. I was listening to a podcast earlier that Ryan Leaf was a guest on.
What was it, in jail?
He was talking about like he was rifling through quarterbacks like real quick, and he like totally forgot Hurts, and then just like so happened to throw him in, like mention him, and just said like, "Oh yeah, Jalen Hurts, who's like in the running for like MVP this year." Like gave him no respect whatsoever.
Dude, first take this morning, they were talking about Dak Prescott, and they said, is he in the realm with Burrow and Mahomes? And I'm like, bro, he ain't even in the realm with Hurts in his own division.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah, it's too much at this point for me. It's too much.
Like you said, what does he have to do to get the respect to throw 5,000 yards and 55 touchdown passes? Guess what? That quarterback, we talked about that before a few weeks ago. That quarterback doesn't have to exist for you to be successful anymore.
Right.
This is a new age of quarterbacks. You're going to see more in the same way that the Eagles have changed the game, like something stupid as the QB sneak, but it's important. It's relevant. These guys are going to change the game in terms of what they're looking for in a quarterback. Also, like, I'm so happy for the kid because he is exactly what any team looks for in a leader. And the one knock was, I don't know if he can throw though. But now that he can throw, and he still wants to always constantly work and get better. Like he's the kind of kid like you hope your daughter brings home. Like, hey, this is my new, like he meets every criteria for a young man that you can have.
Yeah. And
I'm so happy and fortunate. I feel so fortunate for us as a fan base that we have him as our leader on our team, because I think that between Hurts and the way that team responds to Sirianni, and the way I'm going to say this, but the way that Howie has all of a sudden started drafting the last 2 years, I'm going to say it. Because I don't believe in jinxes. They're going to win it. They're going to win 3 rings in this next decade. I'm calling it right now. They're going to win 3 rings between now and 33. The Eagles are going to win 3 Super Bowls. I'm calling it right here
on tape.
December 13th, 2022. God willing, I'm still here to see it in 2033. That's what I think is going to happen, because I'm seeing the infancies of a potential dynasty with this organization. They are getting it done perfectly the last 2.5 seasons on the field. And also the way to see that is Sirianni wasn't a popular pick. I said it from the beginning. He's won me over, because in the beginning I thought he was an idiot in the beginning with the flower thing he said, the analogies and all that crap. And I just watched them guys when they were 2-5, I think it was last year, and they got on the run and they responded to him the way they have. And the offseason that we had with Howie, with the trades and the drafting, and with the Saints pick now this coming year being a top 5 pick, it looks like that's going to be again, hopefully they don't mess it up, a superstar player coming in again. I really see the infancies of a dynasty in this team.
So there's a lot to digest there. I want to say before I dive into my next point, the improvement that Jalen Hurts has made has jumped off the page. I was down on him going into the year. I don't want to come off as someone who's anti-Hurts because he is the leader for MVP right now. Like if the season ended today, he would get my vote for MVP. All I'm saying is I could see it swinging as the season progresses because I just see with one or two more losses, Mahomes' passing numbers, if he throws for, again, 5,000 passing yards is a magical number. And that's going to jump off the page for voters. 40 touchdown passing is a magical number. It's going to jump off the page. So I think that there's an opportunity for Hurts to lose that MVP to Mahomes. So again, leader in the clubhouse right now is Hurts. And if I said that wrong in the beginning, I apologize. It's not what I meant. I just see by the end of the season, Mahomes taking that over. That's what I'm trying to do.
If you ask me what the voters are going to do, I don't have confidence that Jalen Hurts is going to win this award at the end of the year. You're absolutely right about that. But as it stands right now, I think Jalen Hurts is being penalized because of the success of his team, which is ridiculous. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I think it's ludicrous too. He's the leader of that football team.
100%.
And he's the clear leader.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
So Chris,
go ahead.
I want to get somebody on this show. We talked about it before about getting a Cowboy fan on here, or a Cowboy rat, really, because they're all bandwagoners and aren't probably never set foot in Texas. But getting on one of them on here to debate. I want to get someone that was a Wentz supporter who, for a year and a half, I would go back and forth on Facebook talking about how Hurts is better than Wentz, and these people would still try to act like I was crazy and say that Wentz is a better quarterback and is going to be in the league longer than Jalen Hurts. I'm begging some of them, any of them, to come on or hit me up on Twitter or whatever and still try to talk that same story, because you got burnt. You got burnt. And guess what? You're not the only one. The Eagles got burnt. The Colts got burnt. The Commanders just got burnt. He is not a winning player. He's not a winning quarterback. He's not coachable. He's not a likable guy. I don't care. I'm just as Christian and Jesus loving as anybody else. It don't mean that I'm going to sit there and have this guy be my, pardon the pun, savior on the football field, because he's clearly not that. So I would love to have one of those folks to come on and just be like, to the whoever listens to this show, to the masses, yo, check me. I was wrong.
Like, I'm not sure there's any Carson supporters left out there.
Carson catching some strays here. Where'd that come from?
Look, Chris, I want to transition to one of your points from earlier about a potential dynasty. And here is, I don't want to say my cause for concern, but my question I'll throw to you. The blueprint for some of these teams now, I look at Cincinnati as one of them. I look at Seattle when they were good, in the mid 2010s, is to have a quarterback on a rookie scale contract with a bunch of talent that they're paying outside of that. I went on Spotrax today. They're projecting Jalen Hurts' next contract, 7 years, $314 million.
He's earned $40 million since 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's averaging at $44 million per year. I want to throw some comparisons. Kyler Murray got $46 million over 5 years. Lamar Jackson is also going to get paid this offseason. I'll be very curious to see who signs first. Is Hurts going to set the market for Lamar, or is Lamar going to set I would imagine, because Lamar's unrestricted, that he's probably going to set the market for Jalen. Do you have concerns? Again, we saw Kyler Murray go down last night with an ACL. I think Jalen has more to his game than Kyler, but with this style of quarterback, sometimes putting that much money on the table, Deshaun Watson's another one. $46 million over 5 for Deshaun Watson. Like, these contracts have not turned out well for the most part.
Well, I will say that Hurts' injury history is not near the other ones. Also, he's a sturdier, like we talked about this a few weeks ago, Al. He doesn't allow himself to get laid out. He when he gets hit, it's almost like it's calculated.
Yeah.
Everything he does seem to be now, of course, like, you could have a freak injury. I'm not saying the guy can't get hurt, but am I concerned with his durability? Not a little bit, like, at all. I'm also not concerned with him developing into more of a passer as the years go on because he's a smart kid and he knows all that kind of stuff can come into play. He's already taken leaps and bounds, strides in as far as throwing is concerned. I don't think that's going to stop because he got paid.
Yeah, I think
really
you're looking ideally at a development similar to Russell Wilson.
I see him as the new Russell Wilson,
and people laugh at that because the way Russell's playing now, but Russell was very good. Like Russell's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Absolutely.
But I made a list of, and I want to run through this list just out of curiosity of the top. Looks like there's maybe nine quarterbacks, the top 9 guys that are getting paid this year. And I just want you guys in a word to say whether or not you think they're worth that much money the way they're playing this year. That's all. Simple exercise. All right, I'll start at the top. Aaron Rodgers, $50 million.
No.
The way they're playing now?
This year, yeah.
That whole team ain't worth $50 million this year.
Russell Wilson, $49 million.
No. Pass.
Kyler Murray, $46 million.
No.
Deshaun Watson, $46 million.
No.
Patrick Mahomes, $45 million.
Yes.
Yeah. Josh Allen, $43 million.
Yes.
Derek Carr, $40 million.
No.
Matthew Stafford, $40 million.
You know what? Stafford just got a ring. So
I said this year. I'm talking about this year.
This year, no. Obviously, no.
No.
And the last one, I'm curious. Dak Prescott, $40 million.
Yes.
Because of the market, how it is, I'd say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, the majority of these contracts,
but again, that's what it comes.
The Eagles are in a place where they have no choice.
Right. I was gonna say that's the business.
You have to sign the contract. The question is, what is it going to do to the roster moving forward?
Chris, I can't believe we're talking dynasty when right before we came on, I told you guys I wanted to ask about the parade this year, and you're throwing the D word out there. But
I see it.
But here is the big thing, right? When we're gonna have to give him that money, and the only team like Adam mentioned some of the recent teams. The only team that was able to pull it off with a quarterback that wasn't on a rookie deal was the Patriots. And it's only because of Tom Brady's willingness to accept less than he was worth.
Well, the Rams last year, the Rams.
They're not a dynasty.
Oh, okay, dynasty. Okay.
Yeah, if you look back at Tom Brady's career earnings, if you look at year by year,
it's not close to what he should.
Unreal how little he took versus what he could have gotten.
And guess
what?
No
one's ever going to do that again.
I was going to say, if anybody did, I think that Hurts is the kind of guy that would do that.
No way. And because to me, he's the guy that more than anyone should be like, no, give me my damn money. After all he's been through.
No doubt. No, I agree with that. I'm saying as far as his mentality, though, he might be, I don't know if he's got that like vindictive attitude in him. I think he's more about like the guys, the 52 other guys in that locker room than he would be about the past. But I agree with you 100%. I know I'd be like that. I mean, the crap that he had to go through with the Wentz fans, with Wentz himself, with Doug, whoever else in that organization that was not really willing to give him the to put him in the the chance in the proper position to win and be successful like he is now. He went through a lot. I agree 100% with you with that. But I do think that if anybody was to take less money, I would not be surprised to hear him do that, especially in a town where we just had James Harden do it to say here. Like, I don't know if those guys talk a lot or not. But Bryce Harper, you could argue, kind of did it. He's going to be a bargain down the road at this point. I think he knew when he got that deal that he got in 2019 that he probably could have got even more than what he got. If he really fought for it, I guess. But whatever. I mean, we'll see. I think that I just see that happening. When I look at a team and when I look at a team that's potentially a dynasty, I think about different things that they have to have. Seltzer, you were talking before about the quarterback being on a rookie scale. But that's kind of flawed because then you're saying that you only can be a dynasty with a young quarterback. Because anybody else, if you're in a situation where you have a quarterback year 4 or greater, you're going to have to pay them.
But again, what Al said, outside of New England, we haven't had a dynasty since the 90s, which was Dallas.
And the money wasn't nearly what it is now back then.
And it was. I think the salary cap was different there. I'm not 100% sure.
And Chris,
I'm not sure if the financial way the NFL works is capable of setting up for a dynasty. What's a dynasty? 3, 3, and 7? Is that a dynasty?
I would say 3 in a decade is it?
Yeah, I would say 3 in a decade also.
Okay.
I just want to real quick jump in. Jalen Hurts is represented by Nicole Lynn, who is the president of football operations for Clutch Sports. There's no way he's taking less. Not a chance.
That's fair. And I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if somebody did do that, I would not be surprised for him to do that.
Not on your first one.
I think that I look for a quarterback that can play. I look for a winning team that's got depth in the trenches, offensive line and defensive line. I look for a team that's got a coach that's a leader of men. And I look for a GM that knows how to to construct a team for the long run. Meaning, especially in the NFL, having a skill set with the salary cap. And the Eagles meet all those criteria right now. And that's why I feel like they easily, well, I don't want to say easily, but they could win 3 in the next 10 years. And if not win 3, be right in the conversation at least year after year for like where they are now.
Well, since we're here, just real quick, the guys that are expiring this year, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Isaac Seumalo, Fletcher Cox, Dillard, Kelsey, Bradbury, Sanders, Gardner Johnson, White, Marcus Epps, TJ Edwards, obviously Sue and Joseph, Boston Scott.
They got work to do.
There's a lot of work to do.
But when we talk about, like, I saw Todd McShay was mocking the Eagles to have Robinson from Texas at the 5th pick. There's no way that's going to happen. Like, I get his logic was the Eagles are a run-first team, which they are, and you escape having to pay for Miles Sanders to re-up Miles Sanders. You get a younger, better player, and I get all that.
They're not signing Sanders regardless. I don't.
And I would say not only that, but the market, the way the market is right now for running backs this year, there's absolutely not going to sign him. And unless they get him on a discount because he wants to stay here. And on top of that, you got guys like the kid from Georgia and Will Anderson out there too that are going to be available. If they're both or one of them is available, you cannot pass up either one of them. You can't. And they fill a hole. Not a hole, but they fill a need, which will be D-line. Right. Because after this season, there's going to be some aged guys that are going to probably either hang it up or have to move on. And we got to just re-up and get new guys to fill those gaps.
Especially, like I said, cheap ones, especially if you're going to have to sign Hurts. You got to hit on those draft picks.
David Walker from Georgia, paired with Jordan Davis. Dude, nobody's going to run on this for the next decade.
Let me transition back to the playoffs because we're talking about Super Bowl. I wanted to go into which path would be the easiest, what you would rather have. But before we do that, I want to project out the teams you have making the NFC playoffs. So I'll run through the top 5 seeds because I don't think we need to talk too much about it. Eagles, 95% likely going to get the 1 seed. Minnesota, San Fran, that can go either way, but it really doesn't matter who you have 2 and who you have 3. The NFC South winner is going to be 4. That could be any team. Like Tampa Bay may not make it. But again, that's that spot's for that group. 5th seed is Dallas. And then we have 6 and 7 are still up in the air. So right now it's Washington in 6 and Seattle at 7. But I wanted to run through the schedules with you guys and see if we could figure out who those last 2 seeds are going to be. And then I want to go into which path you'd rather have. So I'm going to throw the schedule and you tell me what they're going to end up doing. All right, so I have Washington here. Washington is currently 7-5-1. Their remaining games, Giants at home.
Hopefully somebody wins this time.
Yeah, right. Could be another tie. At San Francisco, Cleveland at home, Dallas at home.
That's Washington?
Yes.
I did this. I simulated this through on 538. And then, of course, I closed the tab. So I don't know if it was 2 and 2 or 3 and 1 that I had them. But I'll just tell you that I had them as the 6 seed.
Okay.
So you said the Giants, so the 49ers, the Browns, and then who else?
Dallas. The Giants, Browns, Cowboys at home, San Francisco on the road. I have it 3-1 because again, I don't think, assuming the Eagles beat the Cowboys or clinch it up, that the Cowboys are probably resting players in week 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that they could win I think they beat the Giants. It's at home, right?
Yep.
I think they beat the Giants, and I think they beat the 49ers.
Okay. So you have
Just
them.
because the 49ers got some injuries and stuff. So I think they win those games.
Okay.
And then the Browns in Washington.
Yeah.
Andover. I mean, I would imagine that they'd win that game.
Right. So
And then
we
Dallas. So they could win out.
Okay. So we all have the Redskins in. I have them going 3-1 in that stretch.
Commanders.
Won't be the guy.
We got all right. So we have the Giants. I got the Giants currently 7-5-1. Obviously, they're at Washington. We talked about that one. At Minnesota, Colts at home, and then at the Eagles.
Yeah, Giants are toast.
Yeah, they're done.
I think they're toast.
I have them winning. I have them winning one of those 3 games, whether it's at Minnesota or the Colts. But I have them at 8-1.
I think
Seattle has San Francisco at home.
And that's a win.
At Kansas City.
You hate San Fran, Chris.
Yeah. The Jets at home and the Rams at home.
I think they go 3-1. I think they go 3-1.
I have them 2-2 as well. So
I have them as my 7th team.
Chris has them at 10. And then last but not least, the Detroit Lions, 6-7. We got the Jets on the road, Carolina on the road, the Bears at home, and the Packers on the road.
I think they go 2-2.
I have them 2-2 as well.
I think they go. Say it again, Seltzer, one more time.
At the Jets, at the Panthers, Chicago at home, at Green Bay.
I think they win 1 game.
Okay, so we have them out. So actually, we all have the same team. We have Washington as the 6 and Seattle as the 7.
Detroit's a different team on the road.
I agree. So here's my question to you. Now that we all have it settled and we're pretty safe. If you were the Eagles, would you rather play in the first round and play Seattle and then get Minnesota, or get the bye and have to go through potentially Dallas and San Francisco?
The bye. That's a silly question.
Yeah, 10 times out of 10, the bye. I get what you're doing here, but it's the bye.
Also, you're forgetting I hate to say this, but I think you're forgetting a team to break down in that conversation.
Who's that?
I think you might want to look at the Packers still.
They have 4 wins. They have 4
Packers.
Packers.
If they won out, they could still make a playoff spot. But they need help. They need help. But
what have the Packers shown you this year that makes you think they're capable of making a run?
I'm just saying. I think if Rodgers puts on his Superman cape and carries him to win out, which their schedule the rest of the way is not that hard, but if they got some help in that 5, 6, and 7 amongst those teams, it's an uphill climb. I know that, but I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous with them mainly because of him.
No,
so
there's nothing to be nervous.
There's no part of you that worries about having to go through Dallas and San Francisco.
No, because we're the class of the NFC. They're worried about us. We are so far and above better than Dallas and San Francisco at this point. Obviously, things can change in 4 weeks, but right now, there's nothing to worry about. And in the history of the NFL and in all sports, no team has ever lost to a bye. So I'm taking the bye, and then I'm taking the Dallas San Fran survivor. I'm
going to say it this week, like I've been saying every week, I feel like the whole season.
What
the 49ers are going to have to come across the country into the most hostile environment they've had all year. Their strength is their defense and their running game. Their running game is going to meet our defense, okay? I don't see them being able to do what they need to do to win that kind of game against the Eagles on the road. They're also going to have a quarterback who probably is not. What are they saying about Garoppolo at this point? Is he going to come back or
no? He's done.
They said he could come back in like 8 weeks. So potentially he'd be back for the Super Bowl.
And he won't be 100%.
Right. So they're stuck with a Brock Purdy whose biggest game in his life has probably been the like Iowa State game or something.
Yeah, and so you want him to go into Philly in the NFC Championship game or your divisional game and win that is kind of crazy to me. Also,
all I'm saying, go ahead, finish your point.
No, I was going to say also, even if Garoppolo or Purdy, whatever the case may be, like even if that was the case, either one of them, I don't trust either one of them to be able to get. Debo also isn't going to be healthy if he does play at all.
Fine, they said.
You think he'll be fine, dude? A high ankle sprain?
He said 3 weeks. That's what they said.
I'm telling you now, that's BS.
All right. It's
Total
going to be
BS.
6 weeks before they play.
If he plays, he will not be 100%.
6 weeks from now.
Right. So it's about 3 weeks, though, you just said.
That's what they say he's going to be out for 3 weeks.
I don't know.
I'm just telling you what the report is. I can't tell you.
I mean, these guys are freaks as far as their health is concerned. But a high ankle sprain typically is at least a month. At least.
Well, my point
and he's still a human being.
In the NFC, how many teams are capable of beating the Eagles?
The only reason the Washington Commanders beat the Eagles is because we didn't have Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh and Jordan Davis playing.
I'm not counting the Commanders. In a playoff
They're
game,
in the NFC, and they're in a playoff spot.
In a playoff game, how many teams do you think are capable of beating the Eagles?
None.
That's you.
None. Not right now, none.
3. There's 3.
Okay, give me them.
And it's the top 3. It's the Niners, the Vikings, and the Cowboys. But each one of them would have to have a perfect game.
Correct.
Each one.
Just like the Commanders did when they beat us.
So I'm saying it's Dallas and San Francisco. And from my perspective, I'd rather let them play each other. I don't want to have to play both of them. That's why, to me, I'm on the fence. Like, I don't hate playing Seattle. I don't worry about Seattle. I don't worry about Minnesota, honestly.
Yeah, but that's just another game. You have to go out there. The potential for injury is a real thing.
Correct. I'm about to say.
I get that.
I know this is all for the sake of argument, but there's just no way you could ever say that having a bye is not better than not having a bye.
That's a typical
Philly. You guys are right.
That's a Philly mentality of not being used to being a dominant team.
Yeah, we get what you're saying. There's potentially a harder road to get to with the bye because of the teams you would play, but it's still at the end of the day does not matter.
And let's be real. We've drawn up this perfect path for the Sixers to get to the finals. It was Washington and Atlanta, and it still backfired on us. So
anybody that want it can get it. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. That's bottom line. And I just feel like this year, especially, I just feel like the stars are aligned for again, barring any crazy injuries. So the stars are aligned for this team to not just make the Super Bowl. I think they can win it, and I think they can get there pretty easily.
So let me ask you guys this, because I think this kind of stems from that conversation. It stems from what Guest just said. What level of rest, like what's too much rest to you guys? Because we could potentially have this thing wrapped up on Christmas Eve. And then at that point, we still have 2 games and the bye. So what do you do if you're Nick Sirianni?
It's a half on week 18.
So you play all of 17.
Yeah, I'm playing all of 17.
Even if it means nothing.
Yeah, you can't sit out for that long.
Yeah. But I will say this though, it pisses me off when we have this discussion, not just us literally, but I mean like people, like fans in general, of rest with bye teams, because in my opinion, that's on your makeup of your team and your leadership. If you go into a bye, come out of it and play like crap, that's 100% leadership, in my opinion. Because teams have done it. Teams have gone in there and had the bye, came out and blew somebody out. There's no excuse for that. You are the best team for a reason. You've dominated this NFL for 17 weeks. Don't let one off week all of a sudden ruin your season. And that's what I would preach if I was Sirianni or Hurts or any other leader in that locker room.
I agree. I think basketball and baseball are completely different because
rhythm sport.
Game reps, correct. In football, you should be able to get out there and go and be fresh.
100%.
I had a point and I don't remember what it was. So anybody else have anything on the
one thing about the 49ers too, real quick? I'm not a big fan of his. I respect him, but Kyle Shanahan has done a lot with quarterbacks.
Fantastic job.
So that's like people are like, oh, like this Purdy kid is all of a sudden like a diamond in the rough. he's in a perfect system with a perfect coach.
But that's what I said last week. You guys hated on Purdy. You guys said the Garoppolo injury was going to kill him. I said it's a system.
Yeah, and you're right about that. Yeah, you're right about that. He had Garoppolo, he's had Purdy. He even had Nick Mullins playing well a couple of years ago when he stepped in. And Nick Mullins is trash, trash.
Absolutely.
So
that defense is good.
Oh, and they're great. They're a great defense. And I'm not saying that that'll be the toughest part of that matchup if we played them is the game plan offensively. But our defense isn't slouches either.
Oh no,
let's not get it twisted.
Eagles defense is very good.
That game might be a 6-3 kind of game. I would not be surprised by that. But
it's Travis.
I'd love to see snow all over the place, 20 degrees, NFC Championship with those teams going at it. That's going to be 80s, 70s, 80s football.
Bronco Nagurski football.
Yeah, the smoke coming, the smoke coming off the field from the ice and all the hot breath. That's what I need.
Remember when Madden added the hot breath and everybody lost their minds? Yo, you can see the breath.
The hot breath was in before gang tackles.
All right, let's transition to segment 1A. This is going to get our Philly sports recap. Dave may have anything else on the Eagles before we transfer it over.
No, they've scored 250 points in the first half this year, which leads the league by 6 touchdowns. I wanted to throw that out there. I mean, they're just boat racing.
Dude, I supposed to say a few weeks ago.
The coin toss, yeah.
Their next level stats. Everybody's like Dallas. The Eagles' next level stats are ridiculous.
Yeah, we do have to touch on one thing. Predictions for this weekend.
Oh, Chris. God. Well, we know where you're going. Listen, the Eagles and the Cowboys this is a trap game for both of them, potentially, if they let it happen.
Yeah. What I don't love
Cowboys had their trap game. It was last week.
Yeah. What I don't love about this game, I'm a big Vegas line reader, and I think the spread opened at 8.5. And I don't love that because this should be a 14-point spread.
What was it at? I'm sorry. What was the spread?
It opened at only around 8.5. Which Chicago is one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, what are they doing that inspires any confidence?
So what's your predictions? What are your predictions? Let's hear
them. 27-10. The Bears stink.
Yeah, I would say 34-13.
I've been touting it for weeks. I've been touting this game for weeks.
You're a rat.
Loss.
However,
I'm backtracking.
What are you going to do?
I'm backtracking.
All right.
Had the Cowboys lost last week, I think the Eagles would have dropped this game. But I think the Eagles are rolling. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people expect. The Eagles, I was looking through their schedule, with the exception of Kyler Murray, they haven't faced anybody with mobility, unless you want to count Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones has mobility legitimately.
He does, but he sucks.
Not Justin Fields' mobility, but Justin.
No, right.
For all the mobility that Justin Fields has, the Chicago Bears offense is still the worst in the league.
Yeah, but he's played better the last
couple weeks,
5-6 weeks. This game will be closer than you think. I'm going to go Eagles 30-23. I think the Bears keep it within the number, I would say.
Chicago's a tough place to play. It always is. And
they're coming off the bye.
And they don't have – that's a great point, too. They have 2 weeks to prepare for the Eagles. They don't have enough on the field, though, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think the coming off the bye matters as much when you're as bad as they are. There's nothing left to play for. They're a young team. They don't have a great coach. I don't really think that extra week makes too much of a difference, to be honest.
All right, let's transfer. Let's go to Sixers. Chris, I know you wanted to.
I got more receipts. Let me pull new receipts up. Hold up.
Go ahead, because I'm not apologizing, Chris. So
I got 2 receipts.
I'm not apologizing. What the hell was that?
That was the receipts. I got them all.
That was a karate move.
Making it rain with the receipts. Embiid, Eastern Conference Player of the Week after you torched him and wanted him out of town last week. Averaging 43 and 10 in the 3 games we played. Also, on a side note, you know that the Bucks just went into Houston and lost the other day.
Suns lost there too.
Yeah.
Giannis had 19 points. Do you think that the Bucks Nation is saying we got to get Giannis out of town?
Bucks got a ring.
No, because they want a title. They want a title.
Ring.
Yeah, they want a title.
But still, though, he's their best player.
No, not
Do you think that they're saying that?
Because
dude, no, stop. I'm going to cut you off right there because I've been taking heat for this from the people that I've been sharing this with. I never said Embiid isn't a great regular season player. I said we're not going to win a championship with him. We can beat up on Miles Plumlee in December all we want. All right, and I'm going to be a fan of it, and I'm going to love it. Great.
I agree with everything you said, but Mason Plumlee. But okay, keep going.
Mason, excuse me, Mason. Dude, I made a lot of mistakes on last week's pod, by the way. But go on.
But we got full transparency on 3 in the Keystone. We made up on our mistakes. Most of us.
And listen, nobody's saying we want Embiid to leave. The guy's unbelievable. What we're saying is the direction of this team. There's not really any way to fix it without getting rid of him.
Right.
Wait a minute. Whoa. You gonna make me go back on this phone and pull up that text message, that text box from that Rockets game that both of you were spewing at the Embiid hate during that game?
I quoted
last week.
Nothing is going to break my heart more than when they have to trade him.
Yeah,
that was the exact quote I said last week.
But that's the podcast. I'm talking off the podcast. What was said about Embiid during that game?
Those are heat of the moment texts. You can't take those.
Oh, okay.
You can't take those.
Okay.
But the what we said on the pod, I'm agree with Al. I mean, we've seen him drop to Chicago a few years ago. Have these games. You saw Utah earlier this year. The dude is. We talked about it when we talked. Is Tatum a top 5 player in the league? And we all had Embiid in our top 5 or top 7, whatever it was. Like, I'm not denying that. All we're saying is the way this team's constructed, they're not going to win. I don't think you can win with him as your best player. And it's going to happen again in the playoffs this year. So I'll enjoy watching what happened the other night. I'll love watching him do stuff like that to other teams. But I got to see it when it matters. And Al said it. Like Mason Plumlee, tonight is Sabonis, who's a great player, but Sabonis can't bang with him.
I don't think Sabonis is a great player. He's a nice player. I don't think he's a great player.
He's a good player.
He's a very good player. Very good. Chris, I think you were the only one that didn't have Embiid in the top 5, though. Am I right?
I had him 6.
Well, hey now.
Well, wait a minute.
Well, hey now.
What does that mean?
I had him in the top 5 over Tatum.
Yeah, but you guys literally bashed the guy. You put everything but short of put the knife in his back.
Dude, I meant what I said. I didn't say we can't beat the Hornets in December. I said we can't win a championship with Joel Embiid as the focal point of this offense because things change in the postseason. And I'm going to tail off what Adam said real quick. Games like the one on Sunday are great for the Sixers, great for Joel Embiid, great for the fans. I'm going to enjoy it. He's a generational talent, and there's no player in the league that when you're watching Joel Embiid cook like that, there's no player in the league that does what he does. So I'm going to enjoy that, but I'm also going to be real about when the postseason comes around that I might be getting Mr. Hyde or Dr. Jekyll, whatever the analogy would be appropriate.
And Al, to add on to that, nobody front runs like Joel Embiid.
Absolutely, dude. The posts.
Nobody front runs with Joel Embiid.
You guys,
listen to you. When things are going good,
you don't want this guy. You don't want him,
Chris. How many times have you seen when things get tough, the head goes down, starts crying?
Did it get tough the other night against the Lakers when Rivers and the other dopes tried to blow that 17-point lead with?
I don't even know if that got tough. They were staring at each other like they didn't know what the hell was going on.
Like we talk about Plumlee, he did it to Anthony Davis. He's doing it tonight to Sabonis. Like, what do you like? It's not just that he's like killing bad dudes. Like,
Chris, this is Joel Embiid's version of the Ben Simmons summer YMCA tour. It's the Joel Embiid regular season tour. He's a fantastic regular season
He won the
player.
Raptors series last year.
Great. And then and I know what you're going to say. He was hurt. But then he went on to average 19-9 against the Heat and loses in 5 games. It's the same story every year.
You can't bank on him to be healthy at any point.
Right.
He's been hurt in the playoffs every year before. He had the meniscus against Atlanta.
Joel Embiid is leading the league in scoring, and he's not even in the top 125 in minutes played.
That's
Speaking
fantastic.
Of which, you want to talk idiotic? I hate to turn it away. Do you know that if he was eligible based on games played, that James Harden leads the league in minutes per game?
That's wild.
He's the one.
How insane is that from our coaching staff?
That's wild. That's wild. So I was going to bring this up. The last two games, Embiid goes for 38 and 53, right? Bear with me. Tobias Harris and Shake Milton, two guys that carried us for those 5 games or whatever, that stretch without the big three. Against the Lakers, Harris goes for 14, Shake goes for 6. Against the Hornets, Harris goes for 17, Shake goes for 11. My problem is we know that these guys on any given night, if they're given a chance and they're given minutes and they're given the usage, they can score, right? I know this is a Doc problem. This isn't necessarily an MB problem. We need to see more of that. I want to see more from the supporting cast because I don't want to hitch my wagon to rely on a Joel Embiid that has to drop 40 plus for us to win because given his injury history and given his postseason woes, we can't rely on that in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. Give these other guys a little bit more of the load now. So in the playoffs, if things happen, Joel misses a game or two, he gets hurt again. We can rely on Harrison Shake to score more than 20.
I got it.
They are up 23 points right now, and Embiid and Harden and Harris are still in the game. If they're still in the game,
that's a
past
problem.
the 6-minute mark, it's a disgrace.
That's a problem.
Again, I don't mind 7 minutes. Once it gets under 6, if the lead's still 23, they don't need to be in the game.
I'd say probably maybe like 5. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you for the most part. I keep thinking about the late Bobby the Brain Heenan when he would say, "You got to be fair to Flair." When Ric Flair was hot in WWE back in the early 90s, you got to be fair to Flair. And I feel like the same thing with Embiid. You got to be fair to Embiid. This guy, like, I said this last week and I'll say it again. If you're expecting to, like, as great as I know he is, and you guys are saying now as great as you know that he is, you have to win at the guard position in the NBA right now. That's the bottom line. And I think when Max comes back, and I think when Harden continues this run, he's been playing well, and I think that our record is in sync with Harden's ability on the court, even more so than Joel's, in the sense that when Harden is distributing and hitting his shots, that makes Joel even better, and therefore we're going to be a better team overall. But if Harden's sitting up there and he's still doing the dribble around for 20 seconds and no one's open and I'm just going to heave it up or whatever, and then we find ourselves down in a deficit, like we can't expect Embiid to take over and carry a team as a center. That's just not fair. It's not. In a guard league, that's not fair.
Well,
Embiid is also very conscious of his confidence in the game. Like when he's cooking, I get it. Like no one can stop him. But when he gets a taste of just like resistance, he melts, dude. He melts.
I think that was a lot more.
I don't know if he melts. I don't think melts is the right word.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a lot more. It was a lot more of that a few years ago. I mean, he's mentioned last year about him having a son now and stuff is a little bit different, but I don't think it used to be a time when like we played the Raptors and Gasol was on the other side and it was like, forget it. Or even when they had Valanciunas, same thing.
When we played Boston and Aaron Baines was on
any broad, big white dude, we knew that Embiid was going to just have a problem.
But
I don't feel that way anymore.
But maybe it's because of the way the game went. But when they played Memphis the other night and Adams was being physical, Embiid still got his, but it didn't feel as impactful. I think that may be the better way to put it. And maybe that's just because Memphis was beating them in other aspects.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that was a tough example because we just didn't have a good game that game.
I think it's more, Al, when he starts getting double teamed and he's not getting his shots, that's when you start to see him force and flop and flail. And I think it's more when he's getting single covered, I think he's gotten to the point where he can take anybody. It's when he doesn't get the opportunities to get the shots up that he wants. That's when you start to see the frustrated guy that struggles.
Yeah. He's a rhythm guy, man. He has to get into a rhythm.
Absolutely. But tonight they will win their 3rd in a row as the game 3 of this homestand. I don't know if they'll take their guys out. We're at commercial, but Embiid 31-7, Harden 21-6 and 15 assists, and Tobias Harris 21-7 for Tobias.
Also, I don't know if we haven't really talked about this, but he's been super efficient offensively.
Joel's having a great year.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I was like, he's having a career year. and we're having a conversation about how it's like
the team is
minute.
underachieved, have they not?
Go ahead, Al. What's up?
Never was my argument that he's not one of the most. I said he's one of the 5 most talented basketball players in the world. I never said he's not talented and he can't put up numbers. I never said any of this. My argument is I don't believe the 76ers can win a championship with him. And if we run back the tape, I believe both of you agreed with that when I asked, will he win a championship with the 76ers?
Because of the construction of the team, not because of him.
But that has to also be kind of because of him.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It has to be. It has to partially, even if it's 1% in your mind, has to be partially on him. It can't not be. How can you be the guy and it not be on you in any sort of way?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
He's supposed to be he ain't LeBron. He's not the GM of the team.
Let it be known as we wrap up the Sixers segment, they came back out with under 6 minutes left, up 26, and Embiid was out. James Harden's still in the ballgame.
What the hell's going on, dude?
Although I think they gave him one more whistle. I think he did just sub out. I see Jaden Springer on the floor. So,
Jaden's in. I'm about to put this game on right quick.
Look, we're gonna wrap this up as we have a special guest coming on to tape a segment now. Anything you guys want to wrap before we close this on the Sixers here?
Man,
no, I listen. We're going to take the ups. Chris, you said it last week. We're going to have highs and lows with this team. I'm in the boat where I'm just look. When we win, it's great. I'm rooting for the team to win, man. I love the Sixers. I love Joel Embiid. So I'm going to root for them. I'm not going to waver from that, but I'm also not going to apologize about my statements.
Listen, I ain't no snitch, so I'm not going to go on. I'm not going to go in this text box. But you guys were a lot more critical in that text box than you're being right now.
Chris, you're in a no-win situation until the playoffs because if he plays bad, we're going to tell you he stunk. And if he plays good, we're just going to say we need to see it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you can't win until
and if they win it all, we'll just be at the parade together. So it's a win-win for me and Adam, dude.
I don't remember any of that.
Me and Al are sitting in a good spot.
Great.
All right, we're going to be back in segment 2 where we are going to get into the Christmas spirit. And we are going to wish some Christmas gifts upon some of our favorite Philadelphia sports athletes and teams. We'll be right back. Welcome back to segment 3. We're going to play a little game called Whose Stats Are Those? Not necessarily an original segment as we stole it from John Boy Media, but we thought it would be a fun game to play. I will say this. If you are listening on the podcast and you have access to the YouTube version, it will definitely be an advantage to you and be more entertaining for you to see what we're looking at. So if you have the ability to go to YouTube, I would highly recommend it. But if you don't, we will talk you through it of what's going on. So Liam has gone out and he's joined the podcast here, and he has pulled 10 different stat pages of random athletes throughout the 2000s is the time era that he's told us. And he's pulled their basketball reference, their football reference, their baseball reference pages. And we are going to have the stats put in front of us without a name of the player. And we are then going to have a minute to determine who it is, and we are going to try and guess the correct player. We'll give 1 point for every correct answer. And I think that basically covers it. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, Adam.
Go ahead, Al.
Tell the listeners, set the odds here.
So I'm the heavy favorite. Probably, I'm probably a minus.
Who dictated that? You?
Vegas. I'm minus 380.
Vegas?
I'm minus 380. Chris, you're like plus 250, and Al is plus 2,000.
Yeah, I'm up there.
Also, Liam, is that a Thanos poster on your wall?
Yeah, we got a Thanos poster right behind me.
Yeah, I'm about to Thanos this game.
He's setting the tone. All right. So Liam, set the clock at a minute once the screen hits. I'm going to have to pull up player 1. Give me 1 second here. Player 1 is up. And I'm going to click share screen. Player 1, share.
All right.
So there you have it. Player 1 is on the board. We have 1 minute. It is a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh boy.
I got this one. So a big year in 2011 when he moved to the Titans. So for you guys listening on YouTube, we're looking at a wide receiver debuted with Pittsburgh in 2005, played 4 years there, and then played 6 in Tennessee before finishing in Houston. Career year 74 catches, a little over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns with Tennessee in 2011. Bit of an Iron Man, never really missed many games. 16 across the board, pretty much his entire career. So
is this Yancey Think Pen?
I think Yancey has that same team log.
I got nothing, dude. I'm 0 for 1.
Dude,
That's a tough opener.
Oh, wait. I might have it. Hold on.
Actually, I think I have it too. I'm not gonna lie. You'll have to read my crap handwriting.
Actually, no, wait a minute.
How much time, Liam?
My bad. It's over. It's over. I give you 125.
I feel like, wait a minute. I feel like, first of all, Liam should be hosting this. He should be the one giving us little tidbits of information while we're thinking.
I like that too.
That's fine.
You guys step up.
Otherwise, all right. I definitely got this one.
All right. Liam, who do you want to show their answer first? Pens down.
Al. I want to see Al go first.
Can you see it?
Is that Nate Washington?
Nate Washington.
Nate Washington is correct.
Go, baby.
All right, so it's like poker. I got to just fold it. I'm just throwing my hand. I'm mucking the hand.
Show the name.
Adam, who would you have?
Hold on. We're looking at Chris's first. Kevin Dyson.
Kevin Dyson. Derek Mason, but I crossed smoke because
Kevin Dyson was in the 99 Super Bowl. This guy debuted in 2005.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think it was right. I just last second I threw it.
Are you guys seeing mine or no? Is it blending in with my background?
The background's messing it up.
Right, I'm going to change my background a second. You can see it there. I have Nate Washington.
Yeah.
Down 1. All right.
Yeah,
that was a good one, Liam. That was tough. I forgot all about Nate Washington.
I'm going to real quick just change the background.
I couldn't get Santonio Holmes out of my head for the first 20 seconds, even though I knew it wasn't him. But just trying to think of Steelers receivers from the 00s, I couldn't he was the only one that I could think of.
Nate Washington could go and get it down the field. He could get up there a little bit.
Yeah. Nate Washington. That was a good first name. You guys ready for player 2?
How many of these are we having?
10.
All right.
I'm happy, man. I pulled that out of thin air. I have no idea how I got that.
That was a good one.
Here comes player 2. So Liam, you're on the tidbits. You guys can see that?
Okay. This one I thought was one of the harder ones. So we got a fullback / running back who played his whole career with Oakland from 03 to 09. Started as a fullback, converted to a running back in the year 2006. A career year of 1,000 yards in 2007 with 4 touchdowns.
I got it.
Is this the last fullback on earth? Is that why you picked
at least productive one?
I think I got a little home field advantage on this one.
Oh, he's a pick guy.
What? No. He's a Pete Devone guy.
Yeah.
I
got nothing.
Hold on.
I don't even have a guess. I have nothing.
Oakland Raiders his entire career.
The guys I'm thinking about, I don't think they play. I think they played before this. The guy I'm thinking of.
I was always waiting for this guy to break out. I guess 2007 was a little bit of a breakout year.
Dude, who is this?
But it never really came. How much time, Liam?
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm struggling to keep time on doing this, but yeah, I think that's up. The 1 minute.
All right,
so
down.
I don't.
We'll go. First? We'll go. Hold up. Who's going first? Who's revealing first? Because I want to say something before Adam goes.
Okay. I don't think either of those two have it. Al says.
Okay, Adam. I think you're thinking this is Michael Bush.
I do think it's Michael Bush. Am I not right about
This is
that?
not Michael Bush.
Oh,
I forgot all about Michael.
I have Michael Bush. Is it Zach Crockett?
No, this is Justin Fargas.
Wow.
I don't know if Justin Fargas was
Fargas.
ever a fullback.
Yeah, I always thought of him as like a small scat back guy.
according to
Yeah.
Football Reference, you can't go against Football Reference.
I guess not, but that's
Wait, Farkas had 1,000-yard season?
Fargas did have a 1,000-yard season. I guess Michael Bush was a bad answer because he had more than 4 touchdowns in a certain season. So
If
nobody
that's
Michael Bush definitely. I knew you were saying that once you said my dad.
the
So
only
wait,
thing
why's
that
your
was-
dad a big Michael Bush guy?
Fantasy, I think.
We were down the shore one year, and Louisville played, and it was like their first game of the year. It was like Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend, and he ran for like 6 touchdowns. He was killing it. And we watched the game, and my
Pete's
dad
known to
loved him ever
latch on to
since.
guys, and he holds on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this guy, this Bush, I'll tell you what, guess what? He's going to be a stud.
The only thing that was throwing me off, the thing that was throwing me off was the number. Like I thought Michael Bush was in the 30s or 40s was an actual number. It says 20s and 25s in there. But okay,
Oh, yeah.
so nobody got that one.
All right.
I was thinking like Tyrone Wheatley, but that was way before.
Oh yeah, dude, you're going way back there.
That's
was
why
gonna
I need
say-
the 90s stuff. That's what I need.
I was gonna say Amp Lee just to get a rise out of guest.
Amp Lee's son is somebody that's playing something now. I forget what it I forget. I'll think of it.
I'm gonna pull up.
Oh, Saban Lee. Saban Lee is Amp Lee's son.
Oh,
Is
really?
it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Look it up.
Player 3 coming up. We
I
got
do
some
know
NBA.
that. I don't know Justin Fargas, but I know that.
All right. We got a Celtics point guard rookie as a Celtic, and then went to Orlando, the Bulls, the Pels, and the Suns over a 10-year career. And he was a point guard and a shooting guard.
God.
I thought I was
Drafted
going to be way better at
11.
this game than I am. This game is hard. Where's his points per game at?
Oh,
he
right,
didn't really
right.
play. He stunk.
Man, Jesus. Liam, you said you went shied on the hard side. Well,
this is a tough one.
I think maybe maybe I was a little too difficult. I didn't want to be too easy though.
No.
I
I'd rather have it
respect
I'd rather have it like this than too easy
so this dude got buckets in 17, 18, 18, 19.
with the Pelicans.
40,
Watching the Pelicans in that
43%
era.
from three.
Yeah, like the Pelicans probably sucked in that era because that's when they
Yeah.
were that's when they were drafting Zion.
Dude, if you guys don't know this, there's no chance I know this. You guys have the NBA League Pass. I'm barely watching Sixers games.
Chicago for
And he
2
could
years.
stroke it. He had a nice 3-point percentage.
Ooh, that might be a good tip. Yeah, he could shoot it.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of numbers on this screen right now. 38% career 3-point shooter.
Wait, so
Did
he was on
someone
the
mention the draft selection? Did someone say, was that you, Al, that mentioned it? Because I don't see
Yeah, I
that.
did. I did.
Where do you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah, where you see that?
No, I didn't say what pick. I just said he was drafted by Boston. I'm
Oh.
assuming he was
Oh,
drafted
in
by
11.
Boston.
Okay, I see. I thought you said what pick he got picked.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I gotcha.
So he didn't really play for Boston though.
No.
No. Not much at all.
He didn't really play for anybody.
Well, he was pretty durable for Orlando in the
Yeah,
beginning.
30.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys 20 more seconds.
All I keep seeing is Ryan Anderson, but I know he's not a guard.
This is a terrible segment for people listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the credibility is shot right now.
They're just listening to us fumble around. We have
Stick to Philly sports.
Yeah. I got nothing on this one. You guys got nothing?
I'll say no, I got nothing. I have nothing.
Dino
Okay.
Raja, is he on?
Justin Holiday.
Yeah. That is Etuan Moore.
I would have never got that.
Jesus.
That's the thing.
Was he a Purdue guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, if we
Yeah.
go college team,
Yeah, college would
NBA
be
player.
fun. That might be something we could bookmark for.
If you would have said Purdue, I would have definitely got that.
I was a stud at that with 90s and 00s players, not so much. the last
So it's
few
one.
years.
Seltzer's got one, and me and Al don't. Or no, Al has one, right?
Al has one.
Yeah.
So you both have one, and I don't have anything yet, right?
Correct. All right, we're going to player 4.
We'll move to the live odds. Chris is now plus 4,000.
Yeah, the live odds are
Here comes player 4.
I think I'm definitely thinking that was too hard because I think the ones coming might be even harder.
What?
All right.
These guys started
Darius
for the Nokia.
Who is that? Who's Nope?
That's got to be
the New Orleans Knicks.
That's New Orleans, Oklahoma City. That's when they were like splitting that franchise.
The New Orleans Knicks. The Norfolk Okays. All right.
All right. This guy played 2 years for the New Orleans, Oklahoma City Thunderkins, and then he played 2 years for the Mavs, and then 2 years for the Magic, 4 years for the Celtics, a year for the Lakers, and a year for the Clippers from 05 to 17. He was a big man
who couldn't shoot threes, but he could shoot free throws.
It's got to be a big white guy.
Yo.
I gotta guess.
I gotta guess too, but
right.
it's not right, I don't think. No, it's definitely not right.
Yeah. I don't think mine's definitely not right either.
Who were you thinking?
Yeah.
What college?
This guy played in China towards the end. Like that guy, that helps you guys.
Yeah, my guy's definitely not right.
Hold on. I'm gonna get this guy. I'm gonna get him. You said he played in China. So he played in China in the years where okay, so last couple years.
I'm writing down a name just to write down a name, but it's not right.
God, if the listeners could see these numbers are complete garbage, and you expect us to know who this.
Yeah, like he ain't even he did shoot like 86% from the foul line though. He played like all but one game for a 3-year span.
Does anybody else just keep seeing Big Baby Davis, even though it's not right?
No, I got someone else, but I know it's not right.
Because Davis went Boston, then Orlando. That's why I know it's not right.
I just want to name random people at those, like Antonio McDice. It's one of
Lawrence Funderburk.
Hold on, I think I might have it. No, he shot threes. Fuck, that was good. I was gonna.
You guys ready?
No, I don't have an answer.
No, hold on.
Yeah, we may need.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give us another 30 seconds since none of us have it.
Yeah.
He couldn't even board. For a big man,
All right, I got it.
Board.
Yeah, he had to be a stretch big who just he doesn't shoot. What the fuck did this guy do?
Who is this?
This guy had a nice
shots.
elbow jumper. A real nice elbow jumper.
Oh, thank you.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna guess.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah, that's asterisk, but thank you.
I don't know if this is right.
I don't have a right answer. So
yes,
actually, no,
I'll give you guys a hint. I'll give you guys a hint since Liam gave me a hint that took me over top. This guy killed the Sixers in a playoff series in 2012 for Boston. He was a starting power forward. And he had an elbow jumper.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then never mind. That's not who I thought it was. I had Chris Mim.
I had Chris Kaman.
I got the correct answer, Brandon Bass.
Yeah, that's Brandon Bass.
Wow.
I had no chance.
All LSU guy. I was right on track with Big Baby Davis.
Brandon Bass.
These are some tough.
Big mouth bass.
These are some tough dudes. All right, so that's 2.
Liam is Thanos with this game. Collecting sports knowledge souls.
The listeners are tuning into the first and last edition of this game.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's just hard.
If you're watching on YouTube, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
If
Somebody
you watch the baseball ones are not easy at all either. So I was kind of going off that.
All right.
Somebody's looking at the screen like, it's Brandon Bass.
If the baseball ones aren't both Mike Trout, I'm screwed.
Player 5 up on the
All right, so
screen.
this is football.
NFL quarterback.
Jets.
I got this one.
St. Louis Rams. San Diego Chargers. Right? And barely ever
for the
started.
Clippers in 2017.
Started 21 games in his career.
Yeah.
Quarterback quarterback, I feel like if I would have gave you guys a starter, it would have been too easy. So I had to
feel
go
like-
a backup.
I
Play a
feel like
little
the
bit.
guy I have is correct, but I also feel like the guy I have started more games than 21.
34 in 2017.
Jets. He 5 years as a backup. I'm assuming he played 8 games his second year.
I want to tell you guys, I think he was at least uh, drafted in the first 2 rounds. But don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he was a pretty high draft pick.
Is this
Again, for those of you guys listening, a starting quarterback, 21 games started his entire career, 5 years with the Jets, then went to the Rams for 3, and then the Chargers for the last 4 years of his career. 8-13 career record. Has thrown threw for 4,000 yards his entire career with 16 touchdowns and 21 interceptions.
We don't get his running stats here.
I can tell you his running stats. I'll pull them up.
Is that going to make a difference? Was he a runner?
I don't think so.
this isn't Chris Sims, is it?
No,
Dude, Chris
Chris Sims had some
Chris
Tampa Bay
Sims.
years.
Chris Sims, Chris Sims is a Tampa Bay guy. Let me see what his running stats are.
No, I don't think he was a
Nothing
runner.
crazy. Yeah.
Is this number 5? This is number 5.
Yeah, this is pick 5.
So basically, he was
a backup quarterback.
Rivers' backup at one point,
Yeah.
but Rivers never missed games.
You're right.
That's true. Although this guy played 12 games in 16.
And who was the Jets guy? Pennington back then? Who was the Jets quarterback in 06 and 07?
Sanchez, right?
Yeah, probably early
okay.
Sanchez.
No,
years
he may have.
there.
I think this guy got picked before Sanchez, and then became the backup. Like I think he was Sanchez was probably 08, 09, roughly. How much time, Liam?
I mean, you guys are taking more time than the 1 minute every time. So whenever you guys, I think we're ready to go.
Dong Flutie.
I'll tell you what, Al, you started off hot, buddy. Yes, you got anybody?
I can't believe you.
Did we ever
fucking
find
were-
out the running stats?
These were kind of hard.
Nothing. He rushed
Kellen
for 200
Clemens.
yards.
Kellen Clemens.
Yeah, it's Kellen Clemens.
Let's go.
Now, is this the kind of game where I might be proud to be losing this game?
Yeah, me too. Me too, Chris.
I just thought about that. It might
All right,
not
so
be-
I got 1. Adam has 3.
I got
I don't have
3.
any. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, player 6 coming up next.
Live odds for guests are plummeting.
We have baseball. So I want to tell you guys, the position is all the way on the right. So you see 5 there, so that means third base.
Okay.
I know who this is.
Third baseman for the White Sox.
So we're looking at a third baseman, played most of his career with the White Sox. Peaked from 02 to 06, where he was a decent power hitter.
These guys weren't even good, cuz.
That's the point.
Yeah,
Who do you want? Brian Howard?
Yeah, but even star guys sometimes it could be a little hard with this. These
This
guys
guy,
are like
let's go. See on the right, this guy's got an all-star and a silver slugger.
Silver Slugger doing what?
30 homers, 94 RBI.
This guy's like a Reese Hoskins now kind of guy. He had 30 homers 1 year.
Yeah, so he was a silver slugger that year, and he made the all-star in 08, and then he was out of the league by
I think this might be the guy who performed the best out of everyone I've given. I know it's hard to go.
Yeah,
Well, then
Cross
allow me
sports.
to log out right now.
yeah, the prettiest pig in the barn of these guys.
Man, I got nothing. I have nothing.
Man, if you ate the chalk, Seltzer's eating tonight.
Well, he's not even like he played 4 years basically. Other than that, he didn't even really play like that.
You'll know his name when it comes up. It's hard to pull it. It's hard to pull his name, but you'll know when you see it.
A White Sox from the early part of the century.
Liam, what was your method of madness for pulling these names?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I was just go in on I would just type in rushing. Well, there's a few that I was able to just think of off the top of my head. That I thought were good. And then there was a few that I would just go in the stats, kind of just Google a team's roster. Be like, all right, 2010 roster of this team, or rushing leaders or receiving leaders.
Dude.
You guys throwing in the towel here?
Yeah, the next time we do this, let me request it has to be NBA players where they went to college.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the next one.
This is good too, though. It's just hard. I'm gonna name real quick.
Al, you got the first name right. I have Joe Creedy.
Oh Jesus!
That's
What
correct.
a seltzer player that is,
man. All right,
That's correct.
You don't know who Joe Creedy is,
dude. That's back when we were in high school and playing small world baseball, whatever the hell it was called.
Look at the years.
You were a big Joe Creedy guy,
dude. I'm gonna name the guys I know of from the White Sox in that time. Paul Konerko, and that's about it.
Jermaine Dye.
Jermaine Dye was the only guy I could think of, but I knew it wasn't him because he played for the
I forgot Dye was on the White Sox.
But and Satish are loving it right now.
Yeah, dude. I was just about to say that.
1, 2.
I was a big White Sox
what number
fan,
was that,
90s.
Liam? Was that 6?
That was 6.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was 6. For the listeners at home, I had Shoeless Joe Jackson as my pick.
Shoeless Joe Creedy.
Joe Creedy.
All right, player
Creedy.
Player 7 coming up. NBA.
Dude, can a brother get something?
God, we got another guy
for Tottenham.
We got another guy that ended up in China. Come on, man.
And Lebanon. He played in Lebanon.
This guy was another big man.
Hard one.
He's
the next 3 NBA ones are hard, man. They're harder than the first couple.
Oh,
this guy played with LeBron for a couple years. He started 70. When did LeBron go to Miami? That was 2011 was the first year.
2011.
Dallas. So he was on the last LeBron team.
So this dude was Ilgauskas' backup.
Yeah, and then he started the next year 73 games.
And did nothing. To the listeners at home, we're looking at a guy with a career 9-7 average.
He had 14 and 9 in 2010-11 season.
And then he went to Sacramento, Portland, Denver, like the dregs of society.
Yo, look at how much the NBA has changed in 10 years. This dude started 73 games in 2010 and averaged 8 and 5. Didn't shoot the 3 at all.
Horrible 3-point shooter.
There is no place for that in today's game.
Did not protect the rim.
He didn't. This dude did nothing.
Well, he played in Lebanon, is what he did. Is he still playing? Is this the end of his career? This bottom part, Liam?
Yeah,
still in Lebanon or Qatar or anywhere like that.
He's done.
What's fucked up about this game is you just fixate on one player that you know is not in. Like I keep seeing Anderson Varejao.
Yes,
me too.
I can't get
That's
off
who I keep
Varejao. Yeah,
but it's not him.
It's not him.
I was also thinking about, I don't know why, but Chris Anderson, but he didn't play for those teams.
Ooh, Birdman, he didn't because he was on the Knicks for a while.
he was on Denver.
Denver, but that was it.
But yeah, he blocked shots.
Yeah.
All right, let's give this another 30 to 40 seconds.
Sacramento. Who the hell?
So this player was on Cleveland, got traded midseason to Sacramento, Portland, Denver, traded midseason. No, wait, what? No, Denver and then Washington. Yeah, traded midseason to Washington, right?
I got a name. It's going to drive you nuts if it's right. I don't know if it's right, but I'm going with it. Let me know when yous are done.
He was awful, whoever this is. He was trash. How did he get 15 points a game the one year?
I think I got this. I think I have the answer to this.
Is this no, wait a minute, that's not him.
I'm building such credibility with our audience by pulling some of these names.
Well, that or it's the opposite.
I don't have anybody.
Guess nothing.
No, I have no idea.
Liam, this is
they're not going to be right.
This is a 50-50 shot. Is this Joel Prisbilla?
No, this is JJ Hickson.
Oh,
come on, dude. Wait, NC State, I believe.
Yeah, definitely NC State. God, I thought Joel Prisbilla was right.
Oh my God.
Brisbilla
I know when I hear it.
Brisbilla played for Milwaukee, though, right?
Yeah.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
He did play for Milwaukee.
And I think that was way before.
Oh, I think I get a bonus point for that.
Joel JJ
Where
Hickson.
Hickson went to college. That should be 2 points.
All right, that's player 7. Joel or JJ Hickson.
Is it still 3-1?
I have one.
I know who the
I have
3 players
four.
that are
I
left,
have
and
four.
they're. I'm sorry. I think I did make this a little too hard, but I'll know better for next time, though.
Folks, if you're
These next 3 players are so random.
if you're just joining us,
All
Joe Creedy and JJ Hickson have been in this game.
Who the hell is NOH? What
That's New
franchise
Orleans.
is that?
New Orleans Hornets.
Jesus Christ.
The nose.
So this is a shooting guard who played a good amount in the NBA.
Yeah, kind of. Look at a couple big scoring years early. A lot too. 18.7 a game.
Yeah, he went to Sacramento
11-12 for
and
the Kings.
Yeah, 21.3.
21.3 in 27 games for the Kings. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he got traded mid-year. That's what this guy got traded a lot mid-year. Looks like he got traded 4 times mid-year.
A shooting guard.
I was thinking about Ish Smith, but that ain't gonna be work. That ain't right.
Ugh.
Played for the Hornets, the Kings, the Nets, the Celtics, the Suns, the Rockets, the Wizards.
This feels like Eddie House, but it's not Eddie House.
No,
Nah.
Miami's not in there.
The Sacramento teams in the 2010s were just like,
Wreck.
yeah, like that,
Cesspool. A total
there's no-
cesspool.
there's no credibility there at all. But this guy started a bunch of games for them.
Jesus, dude.
Dude, am I gonna get the goose egg on this game?
This from 2009 to 2017 was an era where I was just not paying attention to national basketball
Did this guy
basketball in Philadelphia.
Didn't really rebound or pass much, so he's just a scorer.
Seltzer, I can't say it on this podcast, but having 0 points in this, it makes me think about the Kevin Keenan quote that I would say to you. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
My favorite Kevin Keenan moment for the listeners. Kevin Keenan is Adam and Chris's one of their best friends who was a WWE referee. And one of my favorite moments is I was down the shore watching a match that he was reffing on TV on the ECW reboot, and someone used brass knucks or something, and he counted to 3, and we all started leaving the voicemails yelling at him, "Yo, come on, Keenan, he used the brass knucks. You didn't see that?"
I remember that. He was so mad.
Do you guys want a hint?
Yeah, give me something.
This guy won SEC Player of the Year.
Oh, is
Don't say it out loud. You gotta write it down.
dude, this is a bust.
That would be 2009. Who's in the SEC? Florida, Kentucky. Is this Jody Meeks? Minus the Sixers years? I don't have an answer for it. You guys got anything?
It's not Chris Porter, is it?
No, it's Marcus Thornton.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Marcus Thornton was half decent.
Whew.
That was tough.
yeah. What's that, number 8?
No, it was 7, I think, wasn't it?
I think that was 8, but I'll check.
I think I do have a guy who played for the Sixers on here. So
No, that was
It was
8.
the process years. It's all fair game. It's probably gonna be the same what we've had so far.
All right, so we got 2 left.
Adam.
I think you might have 3 left. I remember 3.
Yeah,
players.
I think that was 7.
All right, we'll have to go
Yeah.
back. I have 9 loaded up here. I can go back to the next one.
Should be 2 NBA and 1 NFL.
So I got a 4-year tight end. Played 5 years in the NFL.
All for the Jets.
I,
But he had some big years
I think I know who this is.
for a tight end.
No, it's not who I thought.
My Jets knowledge is on point with the Kellen Clemens and pulling this one.
Is this former Eagle Kasim Cincino?
Al, this is not Anthony Becht.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I
that
was
was the
thinking
first name that popped into my mind. The Bonner product.
Yeah, I was debating for a second, but it was too late.
New York Jets tight end actually had over 100 targets in 2 of his 5 years in the NFL.
Is this Jeff Cumberland?
All right.
This guy's career was injury riddled.
Curtis
Brinkley. That's not correct. Guess you have anybody?
Hold on, we only have like 10 seconds for this one.
I'm asking.
Chris, we don't know these.
Is it? Is it? Oh no.
You can stare at those numbers all you want, Neo. This isn't the Matrix. You're not going to find the answer.
That 2011 year, I'm trying to think of.
This is beginning of Dynasty League. Like, this guy was a starter for some teams. I believe Gilman had him.
Oh, the Baltimore Buddies. Seltzer, what was your team name?
The Baltimore Brothers. That was
Baltimore Buddies.
All right, you're out of time, guys.
Is this Owen Daniels?
No. Is this Dustin Keller?
That's Dustin Keller.
Oh my god, dude, you're a clown.
That's a good pull.
Good luck. God bless you.
All right, let's close out of that. I think there's only one left. I think
is that when we were still playing fantasy together and Diversa was the commissioner and let 2 people have who was the tight end? He was on 2 people's teams.
I forget. Yeah, because Liam, 7 was Hickson and then 8 was Thornton.
Well, just do 2 more. Who cares?
Well, I only have one more player left.
Oh, I thought okay.
All right, so this is the last one. This one does have a year in Philadelphia, so we will see how true we are.
I'd be killing it if it was the opposite. If we could pick the teams that the player was in.
Okay. So there you have.
Okay, so the one that must have got lost that I don't know was, I'm kind of thankful I didn't give it. It was Gary Neal, but
LaSalle product.
Now, yeah,
I might have gotten him. San Antonio.
But no, I think I had him on my desktop. I think I just forgot to attach him to the email.
I might have gotten him, Liam.
He had a couple good years for the Spurs.
This guy started 61 games for the Sixers.
Jesus. In 2015.
In 14-15, he came from Milwaukee.
Oh, I know who this is.
And then Sacramento, and then Minnesota, and then the Sixers, the Clippers, the Rockets, back to the Clippers, back to the Rockets.
I got this one. If you didn't notice, it took me a while to write his name down. Very instrumental in a specific role for this team, for the Sixers.
This guy, he bounced around.
A little bit.
He's super well known.
Pac-10.
Yeah, he very well known in college. Was on some really good college teams.
Is this? No.
Come on, Guess. Get off the schneid, dude. This is a process era player.
I was thinking about Ryan Hollins, but he wasn't on the Sixers, was he?
I don't think so. He definitely didn't start 61 games for them.
No. Just power forward.
He was more like a 3-4 guy than a pure 4.
And he played for the Bucks for 5 years.
And those were some okay Bucks teams. Like, those were some playoff teams that he played for. Glue guy.
Is this like good Pac-10 or bad Pac-10?
Good, real good.
They were good.
I mean, glue guy. He played 1 year for the Sixers.
I'm talking about just in his career as a whole. He was a glue guy.
He only played
This
for.
guy. This guy
started
definitely was on Final Four teams, I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Started 450 games his NBA career.
No, but I'm saying as far as like a glue guy with what team? The Bucks, was that was it. He was
His
only
entire. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess when you see his name, you're like, oh yeah, that was a glue guy.
I just keep getting locked in on the Sixers for a second. I can't.
I'm disappointed that you can't pull this, Chris.
31 from 3.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 out of 10.
That was a process. This was a process guy, right?
Yeah. But
the power forward position is throwing me off. I can't.
You
That's
can
what
think
I'm
small
saying.
forward too. Like he was a 3-4.
Hold on.
If Guest isn't getting this, I'm not getting this.
I know I'm gonna know it. It's hard to see it from this page. Yeah, if you don't see the YouTube, this segment is they're gonna be like, what are they even talking about?
Yeah, this is a bomb.
Yeah. Watch it on YouTube. It's fun if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, because then you can play along. But
Yeah.
I have nothing. I don't have a guess.
All right. Liam blacked out. Guess, do you want to give it 10 more seconds?
no,
Give it up. And 0 for guest. He gets blanked out. Joel Embiid's mentor, Luke Richard Maamute.
That is, yeah.
Dude, I had UCLA in my head and I couldn't pull him.
That was gettable.
It was. It was.
That was gettable.
He only played for us for 1 year?
Yeah, I guess so.
I was thinking UCLA and Arizona, and I just couldn't pull it.
Luke Richard.
But I love like challenges though. So like I want to still play, but I don't know. Like it's hard.
We
Man.
need
That
to.
was
We
tough.
need to.
That was fun, but
the-
it was tough.
When we go back to that at some point, we just got to lower the difficulty level. We bought Madden and we went right to all Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little tough.
Back when you had to like pinpoint the accuracy of the quarterback with the joysticks, man.
Yeah, those are QB vision.
That was that was my favorite Madden. People
I hated that.
Hated QB vision. I loved it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I hated it.
So that'll wrap it up for our final game, and that'll wrap it up for this week's podcast. Gents, any final thoughts in closing? Liam blacked out. He was done.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can't see you.
My bad.
I got it. Luke Richard.
I made it a little too hard. I heard you guys.
We were just saying we got to you got to take it from all Madden to all pro next time.
He definitely Thanos that game.
Okay.
Like the picture.
That was hard. Yeah.
I would like to throw out the gauntlet to our listeners. If anybody wants to come up against us the next time we play something like this, because I think probably people that are listening or watching on YouTube might think it's a little easier than it seems. Maybe.
I don't know, man.
I'm up
we
for
have Joe Creedy in there.
I got 6 out of 10. I got 6 out of 10. That's not bad.
That did very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam did well.
A couple of ones were just tough. Like you just stare at it and it's blank, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough feeling.
Adam,
But Liam, thank you for putting that together.
Right?
No, he didn't.
You got Keller, Clemens.
He didn't
Nate
get the
Washington.
fullback or whatever.
I got Washington, Bass, Clemens, Creedy, Keller, Maamute.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I definitely will put it together again, but I definitely want to play one time. But I'll do the next one too, maybe a month or two. We'll see.
Yeah, we can get you on. We can get somebody else to put it together too. Won't be a big deal. All right.
Yeah.
So like I said, that'll close it up. Any closing thoughts tonight? Sixers get the big win, 123-103. Eagles going to the Bears on Sunday.
Yep. Despite what Chris says, go Sixers, go Joel.
Let's drop that beat. Welcome back to segment 2 of the 3K podcast, where we are going to get into the Christmas spirit. And we are going to be giving gifts. We are giving gifts to our local teams to make them better, to make the fans better, to make the players better, the teams, all the above. So, Chris, given that you're one of the biggest fans of Christmas, why don't you start us off and give the
Yes, I don't even know how to answer that.
I mean, his name is in the holiday.
Oh, I guess okay.
So why don't you go ahead and give out the first gift of Christmas?
All right. So my first person I would give a gift to is which one am I going to go first? I want to go to my boy Nick Castellanos.
We can't get through an episode without you trashing Nick.
I want him. I'm gonna be glass half full here with Nick. All right, because that speaking of names with the holiday, Saint Nick Castellanos. I'm gonna be glass half full here, and I just want him to get a better batter's eye. He was, I believe, the worst swing miss rate in the league last year. He definitely was, if not the worst, he was in the top or bottom 5 of swing and miss on first pitches in the league as well. We know if you threw a slider to that brother, he was missing it. Outside slider, he was going after it and missing it every time. So just get a better batter's eye. Come back, do whatever you got to do in the offseason. Get your eyes checked. Go to what's the glasses place that's always got commercials with the owls?
Lens crafters?
The lens crafters?
Yeah, I get mine from Zenny, my glasses.
Or what's the Darby Parker? Or Darby Allen?
Warby Parker. No free ads, I thought. Did they pay for that?
Like, go somewhere for that. Get your eyes checked out or whatever. Come back with a better batter's eye. I know you still got it in you, bro. I know you still got it in you. That's what my gift to you would be. Just get a better batter's eye. Come back next season and let's mash.
So in a word, are you in on Castellanos for 2023?
I want to be.
No. Yes or no? Is he bouncing back in 2023?
Yeah. It's Christmas. Yeah.
Al, hit us with yours.
All right. I got one that I'm gonna use it. I might be taking some of your guys later because this is a group gift. But I want to give James Bradbury, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, and Josh Sweat the gift of Pro Bowl selections. Because I tried to pick, these are guys that might get left off because of the depth at those positions. When you look at the body of work with these players that I just named, they are all worthy, but they all can't make it. Dallas Goedert because of the injury, Bradbury because of the depth of the position. Same with Sanders, although I think Sanders, yeah, Sanders at this point I think has to get in if he keeps it up, right?
The last 2 weeks have really,
and being the best team in the football, like, you're going to have a good amount of Pro Bowlers,
right? So it's over 1,000 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry. But then we have 4 pass rushers, guys. I mean, these stats are off the charts. Yeah. Hassan Reddick, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. Josh Sweat, 7.5 sacks, a forced fumble.
I'm so happy, by the way, that Josh Sweat panned out because we were a little scared in the beginning.
That's all of that he had last season when he went to the Pro Bowl. I mean, he already made those stats. Javon Hargrave, 8 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 recoveries. And Brandon Graham, 8.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. So I want to give the gift of all pro selections to those 7 Eagles.
And Hargrave getting those sacks as a D tackle is that's pretty special also.
And Graham and I get that he's not, he's coming in on situations that are like are good situations for him, but he's not playing whole games. He's not playing every snap of every game.
No, not only that, he's like what, 34?
Yeah.
As an edge rusher, like that's very old. Yeah, he's still putting up numbers. So
I heard a joke earlier today that it was like, he was drafted back when he was, knowing that in 2022 he was gonna reach his peak.
Yeah. I mean, he's another one we were scared of in the beginning that he was gonna be a bust. He's far from that. He was worth it. He's actually, now in hindsight, I'm actually, we never really say this, but I'm happy that we took him over what's his name? The safety who I'm going blank on right now.
That's a long way back.
Clinton Dix.
No. Oh my God. From the Seahawks. Earl Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Earl Thomas.
Yo, real quick, and don't spend more than a minute on this. Is he on the Eagles defensive player Mount Rushmore?
Who?
Brandon Graham?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, I mean, he won a.
Wait a minute.
I think it's a little more than a quick no, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I have to think about that.
I mean, Reggie and Doak are
right. Reggie and Doak are the obvious two, and then who else do you have? Trotter?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not the Eagles guy. Chris is the Eagles guy.
Yeah.
You
I'm
said
trying-
you said Dawkins and this
Dawkins and Reggie
defense, right?
I mean, I
Yeah,
think
only defense.
I think Fletcher is more on that. Brandon has the highlight play in the Super Bowl, which propels him a little forward. But
That's
Fletcher's
huge.
had a better career than Brandon has.
Wait, you said Mamula?
No. Fletcher, and maybe like Eric Allen.
Yeah, I mean, there were some secondary guys back in the 90s and 80s that were really good. I mean, even like Taylor and Troy Vincent were
Was
really
Troy?
good.
I was gonna say, was Troy Vincent the guy that you would put up
Yeah,
there?
I mean, you could consider him. You had guys like that, the most all underrated guys I think of like when you're growing up that were really good, like that never get talked about. Andy Harmon, William Fuller. Like I wouldn't put them on that list,
They're
but I'm
not-
just
yeah.
saying like they were really good defensive
What
players.
about Lito?
I think Sheldon was better.
Sheldon
than
be considered. Yeah, like I mean, you know what, Al? You might be, and because he won the Super Bowl in that big play with the strip sack.
Yeah, that's huge.
That might actually be the more I
I
think
think
about
he's
it.
outside looking in, but he's probably in the conversation.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, what do you got? Give a gift.
So I'm going to give it what I thought would be an obvious one. Even though it will come in time, I want to give Bryce Harper a new elbow. And I say that because this Phillies season coming up is the most anticipated Phillies season since I would say, I guess 2012. Even though they stunk in 2012, they still had expectations. And there's a chance that the beginning of the season just doesn't have as much energy because Bryce is not a part of it. And the fact that he's not going to be back until the All-Star break is just a little bit of a buzzkill.
Yeah.
That could just hurt the beginning of the season. And I really just wish that he was healthy and Trey was there and we were getting ready to rock and roll right from the beginning, when in theory, we're not going to be able to get moving until July. And then we have to hope that, and I think he'll be fine, but we have to hope he hits his groove for the second half of the season.
We have
Was
to hope
that
that we're
2011
in
Go
it.
ahead, Al.
We have to hope that we're in it.
Right. That as well. The Mets are spending money out the ass.
Yeah.
Was that 2010 or 11 with Howard at the end of the game when he tore his Achilles?
11 was
11.
That was 11.
So it's probably similar too in that sense to 12, where a big piece of the team was out to start the season. But I saw reports that it said All-Star break, and I saw reports that that he was looking by Memorial Day. Like why is the gap so wide?
I think the Phillies gave a conservative timeline, and I think from what I read, the Memorial Day timeline was based on Ohtani had Tommy John 2 or 3 years ago, and he was able to come back and hit before he could pitch. So they were just taking his timeline and putting it on Bryce.
So he would potentially come back as a DH for 2 months before he was in the field again?
That's what they're saying. Yes.
Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, me too. But it's just a matter of and again, we don't know if those injuries were exactly the same or the damage or there's any additional surgery stuff. But for my Christmas wish, I'm giving him a new elbow, so he's going to be in right field on opening day.
Adam, rank the NL East.
I'm not ready to do it yet.
Because you don't want to say it.
Here we go with the disrespect again. This was the same
No.
problem we had a few weeks ago.
I gotta look into the rosters a little bit more and see what's going on. I mean, the Braves made a trade that I didn't love yesterday.
They got what's up with them going after the A's all the time? What's in the third
good,
Oakland A they got?
Murphy's good, but Contreras was I like Contreras a lot.
Well,
Mets
Murphy got a Gold Glove.
Yeah, it's hard to project this Japanese pitcher that's coming in because we don't know what you're getting out of him.
Well, you know what you're getting out of him from why if you listen to our podcast, because we were all up on that dude.
The ghost.
Verlander's a downgrade from DeGrom, although Verlander's contract is better than DeGrom's. I don't know. That's a conversation for another day.
Yep.
All right, Chris, give out your second gift.
So I want to go to the Sixers, and I've been critical of James Harden, and I want him to get a visit from the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Wow.
Because I think that is the ticket for the Sixers. That's their one shot to actually exceed expectations at this point and still compete for a title, is if we can get the Ghost of Christmas Past to visit Harden and have Harden come out and play an average high 20s, low 30s, and still give around 10, 11 assists a game to pair up with Embiid stats. That will be pretty that'd be fire. And I'm hoping maybe somehow, I think that I was happy when we got James, and in the truth is, like, if I had a gun in my head, I'd still rather have him than not have him. I just needed him to do more. Like he had a good game tonight. And I like the distribution that he's putting up with his assist totals. But if we had Harden from even like 2019 on this team, it seems so like yesterday, but it was in NBA years was so long ago.
He's hard to watch. But Chris, we're on the same page. As I'm glad I listed more than 3. I had James Harden a time machine. I was getting James a time machine to go back in time.
So that time machine is the Christmas past ghost.
We're on the same page.
We must be getting good at this because I had the same thing. I was going to give James Harden the fountain of youth, and I was like, I said, I know someone's going to say it, so I left it all.
I'm going for Brooklyn. I only got 3 dudes on my list, so I didn't even have any backups.
All right.
I figure worst come to worst, we could just get the same guy, different gifts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Al, who you got?
All right, so I'll stick to the Sixers here. I have giving the bench players the gift of minutes, specifically Shake Milton. I just look. We know what Milton did without the big 3. He had 38 minutes a game, 21.3 points, 6 assists, 5 boards, and I was as critical as anybody when it comes to Shake Milton. I said that he was just a confidence player. He didn't really do much for the team, but he showed that when he has the minutes and he has the ball in his hands, he actually can do something. He shot 55% from the field, 45.5% from 3, on about 14 shots a game. Ever since James Harden came back, he's back to just like a fart in the wind. And my whole point with this is twofold, and it's a point that we made time and time again, so I won't harp too much, but it's we need these guys come crunch time in the playoffs. We need to be able to rely on them to come in and get us some minutes. And we need guys that are going to take a load off of Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey at times in the playoffs as well. So ever since Harden's return, he's down to 23.8 minutes a game, 9.3 points, 3 assists, 3 boards. His shooting percentages are down. Everything is down. And I get it. He's not getting the ball as much because he's not the man now.
Right.
But he showed what he can do. So instead of relying on Joel Embiid to score 50 and him to score 8, why can't that meet in the middle a little bit more?
Here's the problem. And you'll see this in a couple weeks. He's the 4th guard.
Yeah, I know. Listen.
See, like, so when Tyrese comes back, those minutes aren't going up. They're going down.
I get it. But you also, you mentioned, it might be later in the pod, but you mentioned that James Harden is averaging the most minutes per game of everyone in the league but like he's not eligible or whatever, right?
Yep.
Why can't we take some of those minutes? We should be taking some of those minutes away.
Absolutely. You're right about that. But again,
I mentioned
Melton is playing well too.
Yeah. He is. Melton's playing very well. Very well.
I mentioned a few weeks ago too, like Shake has to have the ball in his hands to be good. He's not going to get that here.
Did anybody catch on the broadcast on Friday? I don't know if you guys listened to the local one or ESPN. Richard Jefferson goes, DeAnthony Melton, otherwise known as Shake.
I did hear that. Oh. I was so pissed because you know why? I actually purposely, I was like, I told Sarah, she was like, whoa. I was like, you know what? Normally I only watch the local broadcast. I hate national media. I had to switch it because I couldn't take Kate and Al talking about somebody's 8th grade basketball team that they had seen or something.
Let's segue. I have on my Christmas list. This was going to be my last one, but we talked about it. This is for the Sixers fans. I'm giving you new announcers.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want Zumhoff back. Like
Zumhoff was
empty the bag for Zumhoff.
He was the
big
goat.
Shoes to fill. And look, it's probably I don't know all the unwritten rules about being media stars because we're new to it all, and maybe we shouldn't throw them under the bus. But dude, Allah, it's like when Zumhoff left, Allah just went rogue. Like I don't know what he's talking about half the time. Like,
dude, they talk about BS, and it's a close game, and they're just talking about like miscellaneous stuff. I'm like, it's a 2-point game in the 3rd quarter. What are you talking about? And
all due respect to Kate Scott, she's just not. She's not the answer.
Why does she use Zumhoff's lines?
I think she tries to say it in as a tribute.
Dude, no.
That was cool last year, but not anymore.
No, that's terrible, man. You can't do that. Like, you're not Mark. We don't want to hear that.
I know. I think I told you guys this before. I had a buddy who who was like, "Do you think she sleeps with Niang? Because every time he makes a bucket, she goes crazy."
No, she's not interested in any
I don't think so
male
either. But
specimens.
I still was. It was still funny. So even though that was going to be my last one, it was a perfect segue because of what you were saying with the Sixers announcers. So
Yeah,
for all you Sixers fans, let's bring Zumoff back. Maybe even the mayor, Steve Mix.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
absolutely.
Even Malik. Remember Malik Rose was fantastic.
Yeah, but he moved into bigger and better things though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is he still on the Hawks front office?
He's on somebody's front office. He's been in the front office for a couple teams.
We need some. We need a.
I
Fresh
would do anything to have Zumoff back. Anything, dude. To me, he was the best. I know Philly fans love their Merrill Reese.
No, I agree, Al. Zumoff is my Harry Callis.
Me too. Me too. Yep.
And I love Harry too. It's not like I'm disrespecting Harry. I just love Zumoff. Like that was the voice of the organization for what 26 years he was
perfect, dude.
All right. Speaking of Zumoff, we're coming in for a landing for this segment too. So why don't we throw it to Chris for his final gift?
I'm going to stay with the Sixers. And speaking of the Ghost of Christmas Past, the last person I had for the gift for Harden, Glenn Rivers.
Oof.
And you know what? It's funny because I feel like Sam Cassell is like Bob Cratchit, and Rivers is like Scrooge. Like I feel like Cassell would be like, "Hey, coach, you think I can have a day off today?" No, you can't. Get over there, Sam. No, Coach Paul. But I want to give because of that. I want to give Glenn Rivers a new set of golf clubs, and I want to give him a new set of golf clubs because I want to also give him extended time off where he can have all the time in the world to play with those golf clubs and let Cratchit move up because Cratchit got to pay for Tiny Tim's bills and all that kind of stuff. He needs a re-up. Let him get a better job, a promotion, be the head coach. Glenn, you can go to the links, play with those new set of golf clubs I'm about to buy you real quick, and we can all go about our business. That's I want to give Glenn Rivers new set of golf clubs and extended time off. Not even extended time off, but just time to tell him we no longer need his services.
So you should have given him you should have given him a pink slip then, guest.
Yeah, but I wanted to
he's being nice. I'll tell you what, Chris, regardless of what Al and I have for these last two picks, I think you're the best Santa Claus. I think you've delivered the best gifts for the group this year. That's a fantastic.
I'm a Christmas. Like you said, I'm a Christmas fan.
I gave half the Eagles a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but we don't. Who cares about the Pro Bowl?
That's true. We don't want them.
If we can get 2018, Chris gave us 2018 James Harden and Doc Rivers gone.
Well, speaking of Pro Bowl, if we can get the Pro Bowl out of there and have it where it's a different situation instead of having the flag football or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
What was your first one?
My first one was Castellano.
Nick Castellano.
Yeah,
that's a bust.
Yeah, that was.
I got a bust though for my third one.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is for all of our hockey fans out there.
Oh,
I wanted to broaden my horizons a little bit here.
I gotta find the mute button.
So here we go. Ready? I want to give Flyers forwards Kevin Hayes and Travis Konechny the gift of one-way tickets out of Philadelphia. Kevin Hayes
is supposed to be the next big thing for the Flyers.
He is. But as we know, this organization, this franchise is going nowhere fast.
Oh, God.
Kevin Hayes leads the team with 28 points, 9 goals, 19 assists. Travis Konechny leads the team in goals with 11 goals. He also has 13 assists to go along with that. The Flyers have 25 points on the year. They're second lowest in the East. They have a negative 26 goal differential. They're on a 3-game losing streak, which comes on the heels of a 10-game losing streak, and they've lost 15 of their last 17. Now, I'm going to wrap this up just by saying, I'm a bandwagon Flyers fan. I'll admit it. When they're good, they're enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
When they're in the playoffs, playoff hockey is fantastic to watch. I've talked to 2 of my friends who are Flyers fans. That like Flyers are their number 1 team. One of my buddies, season ticket guy, recently gave up the season tickets a couple years ago. The feedback I got when I asked, what's up with this organization, was they're totally clueless and that they are all in on gritty. They could not care less about the product on the ice because they're still selling out every game and they're making money, and they just don't care about what's happening on the ice. And I think it's true.
Well, Chuck Fletcher is definitely running that team to the ground. Apparently, I talked to a Flyer fan that I know myself, and from what I've heard, the draft this year coming up is really like there's a couple guys that are like generational good, and they're like, if this is the year to suck, I mean, if there's any time to suck, this is the year for it. I don't trust them still to make the right decision with that.
Didn't they have the number 2 pick a few years ago and took a
Nolan
guy that was a
Patrick.
total bum? Who was
Nolan
it?
Patrick, yeah.
So, and also, you know, I don't know, maybe as an outsider, if a Flyer fan's listening, he's probably cursing me out when I say this, but Carter Hart's not the guy.
No.
I don't think Carter Hart is that good at all. He had one good year, similar to how Wentz was, and the organization and the fan base is scared to admit that they don't have the guy they thought they had. They had the guy in Bobrovsky, and they traded him years ago. The guy only won he won like a couple Vezina trophies.
Yeah.
Since he left when he went to Columbus. So that was the guy to let him go. But yeah, that team is we can have a whole segment on how much of a joke that organization is right now.
I'm really curious to see, assuming we continue to do this, if the Flyers do ever get good, what our conversations will be like, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into the Flyers.
I will.
I can do it.
I'll tell you for a fact I will.
Yeah, I could do it. I still to this day say the Stanley Cup's the hardest trophy to win in the 4 major sports. I really believe that. Best of 7 every round like the NBA, but you're on skates, you're having physicality, like unlike any other sport aside from football. But football is when to go home and one and done. Like do that for best of 7 4 different times.
There's nothing like playoff hockey.
I think it's grueling to a team, and also like to the credit of the NHL, there's a lot of parity in the NHL. You don't really see a lot of the same over and over as far as great teams from one year to the next. Like there's teams that like linger around good, but then a lot of times like they'll have teams that come out of nowhere and supplant themselves in as a contender that year.
Tampa Bay's been a dynasty, if I'm not mistaken, though.
Tampa Bay's been dominant, yeah. But apparently, a lot of people are in on the Calgary Flames from what we saw with the Google trends.
I believe Boston is really good this year.
I mean, yeah, they're that's not surprising. Rats. They're always good at everything.
All right, I have 2 left, but I'll narrow it down. I have one
or two, Adam. So throw the last one out there when you're done.
Okay. I wanted to do this one, but we've talked enough Sixers. So I'll go back to the Phillies. I want to give Alec Boehm 30 home run power. And I look at his stats, and I love the way he swings the bat. He obviously was a player that going into last year was almost at the point where he was going to start in the minors, be a platoon guy. And he worked his way. I mean, beginning of the year, he couldn't field the ball. He had the game where he made 3 errors. And he mumbled, what did he say? I hate
this effing place.
I hate this effing place. And he owned it. He turned it around. He had a really, really good year. But the next step in his development is to develop the power. And he hasn't slugged over 400 in his career. So we need to see that if he's going to play a power position, such as third base. And I really, really like the kid. I love his energy. I think he can be a really good player. But if he can add that 30 home run power, you're looking at an all-star third baseman.
Yep.
So I'm going to give Alec Boehm 30 home run power.
I want to give him a Gold Glove.
I'd rather have the power.
I'd rather have the power too. Obviously this is a lot dependent on their success, but this could be a make or break year for him.
What if he has a year just like he did last year? You think that's not enough?
Well, I think what I said about the success of the team, it would depend on what happens around him.
That's fair.
But
at the end of the day, Hoskins is gone next year in free agency, and I don't know if they're ready to replace both corners.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. My other one, again, so the official game is over, but the other one I have written down, Chris, I know you'll love this one.
Uh-oh.
Tobias Harris is my guy. I think he's been dogged in this town unreasonably, but yeah. Let's get the man some hands.
Dude, it's
I'm
he's
so
awful.
tired
He
of,
can't catch a
of
cold.
watching rebounds bounce off his hand
Yes.
or passes not catch him clean. The guy can't catch the ball.
Nope. And the later the game gets, he can't catch even more so.
Well, that's probably because his palms get sweaty.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
Yes,
the man can't
nerves.
catch. So
I think it's nerves.
get to
Nerves.
buy us some hands.
What it is.
Al, you wanted to give one more?
Yeah, I got one more, and this is also up your alley, Chris. This is why I was a little afraid of what Adam was going to say. I want to give Big Five basketball the gift of wins. Temple,
Relevance again.
6-5. They had a chance to wrap up the Big Five in how long? 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
The other day, and they didn't.
They got smashed by Penn.
Yeah. UPenn 6-7, LaSalle 5-5, Nova 5-5, St. Joe's 4-5. So I want to give Big Five basketball the gift of wins because I got to be honest, I'm a fan of Big Five basketball, and the tournament is better when we can get a Philly team in there. Meanwhile, Penn State's just a measly 7-3. They just beat 17th ranked Illinois in Champaign. They're gonna make the tournament this year. So
I actually think Penn might make the tournament this year. I think they might be one of them sneaky Ivy League teams. Dingle's a really good player that they got.
I don't know enough about the Ivy League, but I would imagine if they obviously have to win the Ivy League. So I don't know enough about
right.
Yeah,
you got to, and there's no tournament in the Ivy League.
Right, you just win it outright.
Yeah.
But the other four teams look like they're pretty much already done for.
I just want to go to Walmart real quick and get Reese Hoskins a glove that don't have a hole in it. Just bro, here I'll put the ball in there, wrap the rubber band around it, sleep on it, so you can get the little the what do you call it? The little cusp, the hole in the not the hole, but the what do you call it? When like you get so it's not so rough. Remember they used to put the lube or whatever on the glove?
Yeah, the glove oil.
Yeah, you put the glove oil on, then you put the ball in there, tie it around with the rubber band, sleep on it.
So it wasn't so stiff.
Yeah, that's what I want to get. Just get him a glove that fits and that it doesn't have a hole in it. Maybe he'll be half decent at first base. That's frustrating to watch. I should have probably had that over to Castellanos pick.
All the flaws of these players being brought out here tonight.
Yeah. But hey, it's Christmas, and in the spirit of Christmas, we'll be positive, and hopefully they'll all get their gifts, especially Glenn Rivers. I would love to give him contribute to getting in that golf bag and those clubs.
You said maybe another Christmas segment next week.
Yeah, we have to have another one. Give us some ideas if you're listening. It's getting a little rough coming up with this stuff.
I got one for next week. I'll bring up to you guys when we wrap it up. But we have one more segment tonight, and no spoilers, but we already taped it. And it's a doozy for sure, as we were going to battle in whose stats are those. Again, I'll mention it before we start the next segment. It's much more enjoyable if you watch it on YouTube and you can play along. If you're listening on the podcast, good luck. It may be a little bit more of a difficult listen, but if you watch on YouTube, you will have some fun playing that game. And Liam did not take it easy on the three of us. That is for sure. So stay tuned for segment 3. Whose stats are those?